Have you ever thought that instead of posting photos for free on social media, you could get paid to sell them? Did you know that it costs nothing to start? All you need is a camera or even just a smartphone and an account with Microstock agencies, the platforms that supply advertisers, TV networks, and websites worldwide. I've been doing this for 20 years. Thanks to this business, I've traveled the world, built a solid income, and acquired the digital skill necessary to successfully launch other online ventures. A few years ago, during an evening in Paris, I shot 4 sequences of photos that became the time lapses you're seeing now, earning thousands of euros. Now, you might think, you travel, you do what you love, you're free to create. In other words, it's the best job in the world. And yes, I'm absolutely convinced it is. However, a problem has emerged simply because it's a career so many people want to pursue. If you log on to Shutterstock, the top-selling agency, and search for Paris as if you were a customer looking to buy a photo, over 1 million results appear. If you don't have a strategy, your images end up at the bottom of that list and no one buys them. What many don't understand is that to make money, taking the shot isn't enough. You need to know things that no one teaches: how to write titles a certain way, how to choose keywords that boost salability, and how to use specific software that lets you spend more time creating and less time at the computer handling paperwork. These are things only someone who has already achieved results can teach. Through my website, I connect every day with people convinced that talent is the only ingredient they need. But the true engine of sales in this business isn't art, it's strategy and procedures. Without a guide, people give up quickly, discouraged by the lack of results, throwing away an opportunity to change their lifestyle and build a digital income. Photographers, whether professional or hobbyist, convince themselves that their experience is enough to earn. Unfortunately, it isn't. The internet has its own mechanisms that you won't learn by scrolling through your smartphone or talking to ChatGPT. If you decide to go it alone, the only outcome is ending up discouraged, seeing results near zero, and blaming it on a dead market, when, in fact, the business of selling photos and videos online is far from over. There is a document whose truth cannot be questioned because it is subject to rigorous audits: the financial statements of Shutterstock, the leading microstock agency listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Open it and you will clearly see that sales and payments to photographers and videographers have been steadily rising for years. If you rely on a proven method, you can handle the most tedious tasks in 1/10 of the time and, using specific software, understand exactly which subjects are most in demand. Did you know, for example, that you can generate titles and keywords in seconds that multiply your chances of ranking at the top of customer searches? Did you know there is a free system to upload your content to multiple agencies with just a few clicks? These are just some of the things I explain in the course. Through video lessons and extra content, I will guide you step by step from start to finish. If you put in the work, you will go from being a hopeful amateur earning pennies to a producer with a steady and significant income. Based on historical data from the agencies, I will show you which subjects are most profitable to shoot, what kind of post-production is needed, and which agencies are worth your time. I will also teach you how to create stock footage, which is the real game changer. I'll show you that artificial intelligence isn't a threat to your job, but a tool to automate the boring parts and outperform your competitors. I'll do all this with a course that costs far less than the earnings you would lose by trying to figure it out on your own. Take this photo. According to the traditional school of thought, an image like this should be a bestseller. I'll let you in on a secret. Anyone who thinks that is destined to sell nothing. The first reason is market saturation. A mountain like this can be shot by anyone in the world. The market is exhausted. Shutterstock returns 24 million results for the search term mountain. The second reason is a lack of demand. Buyers don't want that kind of content anymore. They want scenes of real life, not just a park, a monument, or an alpine trail, but a girl studying on a lawn, a couple taking a selfie in front of the Statue of Liberty, or a family on e-bikes riding through the mountains. Did you know these things? My goal is to open your eyes, saving you wasted work, pointless trip, and the disappointment of seeing your royalty counter stuck at zero. In my course, I explain everything you need to build a profitable collection, how to structure a plan so you arrive at the shoot with clear ideas, how much time to spend on color correction, and how to use software to save hours of poorly writing titles and keywords. I tackle topics many underestimate but that solve real problems. The difference between editorial and commercial licenses, how to avoid the currency exchange fees PayPal applies to your earnings, and how to avoid double taxation. I do this based on 20 years of direct experience, continuous dialogue with successful producers, and access to public data that no one else considers, but which are the only reliable parameters in the age of algorithms. You have two possibilities before you. The first is to see selling photos and videos online as a great opportunity, but decide it's not for you right now. In that case, know that the last train is leaving. While you hesitate, thousands of new producers are invading the market, and the longer you wait, the higher the barrier to entry becomes. The second is to rely on my method, the same one that has already allowed dozens of photographers and videographers to earn significant figures, as you can read in their stories on this site. The only option that would be a mistake is the third, trying to do it on your own, because you will end up wasting a massive amount of time for nothing. But let me be very clear, I am not selling you a magic formula. It's not enough to buy the course and act like someone who joins the gym only to quit after the second session because they realize fitness requires effort. You must study and apply yourself. But once you understand the method, believe me, you will have found a powerful boost for your passion and a real opportunity to improve your life.